What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are in the kitchen and we're gonna get outside a little bit today. I am just starting by prepping my Instant Pot here full of eggs. We're gonna make some hard-boiled eggs in our Instant Pot. I do the 5-5-5 method. Works really well. Easy to peel eggs. I love it. I've done this in a handful of videos recently. It's my new favorite way to make hard-boiled eggs, but I do this about once a week. We use these for breakfast, lunches, snacks, but today I'm actually making them so we can throw these in a pasta salad we're gonna be making later this afternoon, getting it ready, prepped and in the fridge. That way it's cold and it has time to like marinate all the flavors and stuff for dinner. Tonight I'm going to be making a teriyaki grilled pork chop. I pulled a couple pork chops out of the freezer. They're doing their thing in the kitchen sink for the afternoon, thawing out and getting just ready to get put on the grill. But I found a Hawaiian macaroni salad that I think we're going to do for dinner tonight. I have all the ingredients for it. The only thing I didn't have was green onions, but my chives came back in out like in our forest garden area, or what is going to be the forest garden. We started that last year with just some berries and different perennial things that come back every year. Rhubarb, strawberries, things like that. And we have chives out there. These are actually from my mother-in-law's garden, so she thinned her patch of chives and gave us some, and now we have them, so we're gonna use that in place of green onions. But other than that, we have everything. I also pulled out some frozen celery from last year's garden. Still have a ton of this in the freezer, which has been amazing. We're gonna use that. I have that thawing, but I want to get these going and get out into the forest garden and just kind of clean up the bed areas where things are planted. We have 3 kind of places where Joe tilled last year for me, and we started planting some things. The overall goal in that area is to have, like I said, perennials, things that come back year after year. You don't have to think about them. You don't have to plant them every year. Low maintenance, high yield is kind of what we're going for. I put in some starter plants last year because we have a difficult soil. Not everything takes, not everything does well here. So I just put in a couple things last year to see how they would take to the soil, if they were good for our area. And the things that did well, we're gonna add to this year. So I wanna get those prepped because it is warm enough outside where we can start putting some of those things into the ground. I can start getting more strawberries and more berry plants and things like that. And this is my Pasta Beyond maker. If you're interested in a tutorial or anything like that, I'll link a video down below where we make a ton of fresh pasta together, but that's not what we're just gonna kind of fly through it today. I'm gonna be using this like udon shaped noodle. I think this is gonna be best for pasta salads. I haven't made a ton of noodles for pasta salads yet with this, so this is gonna be a little bit of an experiment, and we're gonna see how this goes over. I've used it a ton for warm applications. I have made noodles for pasta salads a handful of times, but not a lot, and this summer it's gonna be a lot. We eat a lot of pasta salads because they're easy to prep and keep in the fridge, and then it's easy to have something when you're coming back from the park or the lake or the beach or fishing or something, and you have something all ready to go in the fridge and you can just grab a bowl and eat right away. So I'm gonna get all of our ingredients in here, my flour, my salt, my eggs, all of that. Get this pasta going really quick. Flour in this. I feel like I'm filling this flour container up every 2 days. Go through so much flour. You never realize how much you go through until you're like, I just filled this, didn't I? Yep, that's me. So I'm gonna make a double batch of pasta, which is what I do every time, which is 1 pound of pasta, which is what this recipe calls for. I will link the recipe that I'm using down below in the description box. And what was cool about this blog is she actually had the cost broken down, and this pasta salad cost just over $5 to make, about 40 cents per serving. And we're gonna cut that even further because we're making our pasta fresh with some of our farm fresh eggs here. So that's really cool. I like it when recipes have the budget breakdown option on them. And this might be a new summer favorite recipe, which could be awesome because we, like I said, always have pasta salads in the refrigerator during the summer. They're such an easy side for lunches, especially if you're spent all morning and afternoon in the garden and you want to come in and have something nice and refreshing. A bowl of easy pasta salad is so great, and you can shove so many different vegetables that are coming out of the garden in it too. That's what I think I love the most. You can put anything in a pasta salad. A little bit of salt is gonna go in with our flour here. We've got our eggs here. I'm gonna put in a little bit of olive oil. It's a tablespoon, and then you can see this little line here for the double batch. I'm just gonna fill this with water until it reaches that fill line, and then the pasta machine does the rest of the work for us. So hopefully this will be a really quick day in the kitchen. We'll just have the pasta salad and our pork chops for dinner tonight, and that'll be really great. I paused on things because I had to get a kid on the bus, and I totally thought I turned the camera back on. Turns out I never did. So let me catch you up to speed. We got our noodles made, and they are in the boiling water, boiling away. Our eggs came out of the Instant Pot, and I have those in the kitchen sink now, cooling off. I'm gonna let those sit for a while before I peel them because they are hot. Colt and I made some homemade fudgesicles, so we got our mix here. This is going to be we made popsicles. That's gonna be a YouTube short. And I gave Cleo a spoonful of some of the mix, and she's obsessed. It's just a little bit of whipped cream and pudding, so it's nothing crazy, but she's obsessed, and now every couple seconds she whines a little bit, so I put another scoop of filling in her mouth. I don't blame you, girl. It is good. So she's gonna be dirty, but she's hanging out up here. I'm just gonna wait for our noodles to finish boiling, drain those off. I'm gonna put them in a bowl right away and put them in the fridge so that they can cool down. That way when we put in all of our delicious fixings for our pasta salad, nothing melts and gets kind of ucky. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'll catch you guys in a minute. Okay, so we're mixing in our mayo here. The recipe called for half and half, but I don't have half and half. That's why you see me pouring in a little bit of heavy whipping cream and then a little bit of milk to make a half and half. We're grating a carrot. I think I did about half of this carrot. It was a pretty big carrot though, but I got that in there, and then I tried to shred this onion and it didn't go very well. I should have taken like a whole onion and used it, but I was trying to use scraps out of the refrigerator. So we did that. We got that in there, and those two things were super good, and I liked shredding it because my kids ate it a little bit better, I think, than having chunks or something in there of an onion or a diced onion. No one said anything about onions in the pasta salad, so I think I might do that from now on. And then I took some of that celery that we harvested from the garden last year and preserved. I just squeezed all the water out of the celery with my hands in the sink and threw that in our pasta salad. We're cutting up our chives. I gave it a stir and then started adding in some seasonings that the recipe called for: salt, pepper. I gave it a couple different taste tests here just to see what it needed, adding in mayo or more seasonings. And this is where I deviated from the recipe. I did add a couple hard-boiled eggs, and I like to take the eggs that didn't peel as well because you're just chopping them up anyways. I love to throw eggs in pasta salad because it adds a little bit of extra protein. We always have eggs on hand, so it's just a great way to use them up anyways. And the yolks also mix in with the mayo and the heavy cream and all of that, and they help make it super creamy, and it also makes it just this really beautiful yellow golden color, especially with our homemade pasta. So I gave that another taste. I thought it was great. I added a little bit more seasonings. You can always use a little more, and the seasonings are going to come out too as they sit in the fridge. A little bit more mayo. I've talked about this before. I don't like my pasta salads to be super mayo-y, so I start slow because I can always add in. And then I'm just going to cover it up, stick this bad boy in the fridge, and let it kind of marinate, and pull this out later, and it'll be ice cold and ready to eat with dinner, which I'm really excited about. My grill is heating up right now. I have my pork chops here. These are from the pig that we bought. Just salt and pepper. I'm going to set these aside while my grill is heating up, and then I'm going to mix together the teriyaki sauce that I'm going to put over the top of these, almost like a glaze after they're already cooked. I'll glaze them and probably put them in the oven either to keep them warm, or I'll let it glaze in the grill after I turn the heat off. We'll kind of see what ends up rolling here, but all you're gonna need is a little bit of soy sauce, brown sugar. You can throw in some garlic if you want, some ginger. We're gonna whisk that together with a little bit of water, and that's gonna be our teriyaki sauce. It's really, really simple. Of soy sauce. I've been using a lot of this to make a ton of teriyaki sauce recently. It's one of our favorite marinades. I think next month I want to get some marinated meat in the freezer just to have an easy convenience meal for us, especially as once the garden starts picking up, having marinated meat is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna put a dash of water in this. I have pre-minced ginger that I like to buy from Sam's Club. That's what I'm gonna throw in this today. Our macaroni salad has been sitting in the fridge for a couple of hours now. I am so excited to give that a taste test and to run it by my husband. I'm sure he's gonna love that. There was a restaurant right outside of Post when we lived on Fort Drum that served food like that. It was like a Hawaiian style restaurant. We ate there all the time. Got my brown sugar here. If you don't want to use brown sugar, you could definitely do honey. I've done it both ways, works great. Throw in a little bit of brown sugar. I'm gonna whisk this together. Give it a little taste. More brown sugar for sure. It looks like a lot, and it kind of is, but that sugar is what we need to make it an actual glaze. It's gonna make it help crust our pork really beautifully, or your chicken. You could do this on chicken, steak, whatever you want. I think a little bit more brown sugar. I know it looks like a lot, but you can always add more. You can never take it back. So I like to start slow. That should be perfect. If you wanted to, you could throw some herbs in here. Yes, that's perfect. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is set this aside, and I'm gonna go throw the pork on the grill quick. Kids are all outside playing. I've got baby right down here in her bouncer seat. I'm gonna bring the baby outside in the bouncer seat out on the deck, and we're gonna enjoy the nice weather while I grill these pork chops up. And then once the pork chops are done, we're ready to go. I just kissed those pork chops on the grill and got diamond patterns on them, and then I decided to throw them in the oven to finish off. I'm gonna leave those in there for a little bit. I'll check it with a meat thermometer. And once they're just about done, I'll throw our teriyaki sauce on top. But I'm assuming those are gonna be in the oven for probably, I don't know, 10-15 minutes probably. They're really thick pork chops. They're also bone in, so they're gonna take a minute to cook, but high quality, great pork that came from literally just across the street, because we purchased our pigs from our neighbors. And that's the cool thing. You can't raise everything, you can't grow everything, and being able to support somebody else's adventure and somebody else's side hustles and projects and things while still doing our ultimate goal, which is eating locally and sourcing and growing a lot of our own food, is really awesome. So that's exciting. But we are looking for, we're gonna look for like 160, 165 on our meat thermometer here for our pork chops. I'm gonna leave those in the oven though for a little bit before I even check it, because I can tell a lot of them are nowhere near. So I'm gonna let those go, kind of clean up my little bit of ingredients we have out from our marinade, and kind of pull out other things that we're gonna need for dinner. A little pitcher of lemonade, our pasta salad here. And other than that, we're gonna be rocking and rolling. Okay, so the kids also had some cucumbers on the side. We always do fresh vegetables or fruit with dinner in the summer if they want it. And these are our beautiful pork chops. The glaze didn't get as glazy as I wanted because I didn't put the glaze on the grill. I did it in the oven, but they're still delicious. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys in the next one.